The golden rule in archaeology is that the more you dig, the more you uncover. But let's be real, that's not always how it works. Unearthing the past sometimes means climbing, crawling, scraping, and squeezing through tight spots. It's not all about shovels and soil, but every bit of the grind pays off. Because when you mix effort with a little bit of luck, you might just stumble upon something jaw-dropping, like the discoveries you're about to witness in this video. Let's start off with number 15, bronze plaque from Ionis Castle. After 3 decades of digging through the remnants of Ionis Castle in Turkey, archaeologists struck gold, or rather bronze, in September 2022. Buried inside newly uncovered rooms, they found a perfectly intact ornamental wall plaque. This isn't just any piece of decor. It likely hung in the royal chambers of King Rusa II, who ruled between 680 and 693 BCE. While fragments of similar plaques had been recovered before, this was the first complete one. The find came as researchers excavated 4 interconnected rooms tucked into the hillside under the old castle, and they're just getting started. This site still has decades of excavation left in it. Ionis was once a powerful center for the Urartian kingdom, and finds like this bronze plaque aren't just decorative. They're deeply personal traces of royal life from a vanished civilization. Every artifact adds another chapter to a story that's been buried for more than 2,000 years. Number 14, Roman-era phallic carving. In September 2022, archaeologists confirmed the discovery of a Roman-era phallic carving in the Cordoba region of Spain, and it's not small in any sense. Etched boldly into a stone surface within a fortified enclosure, the carving is one of the largest of its kind ever found in the country. These symbols weren't crude graffiti. They held real cultural weight for the Romans. The phallus represented protection, power, and virility. Roman soldiers often wore pendants shaped like it for good luck, and similar images are found throughout the empire. Hadrian's Wall alone has over 50 examples. This one, however, stands out for its sheer size and detail. The structure housing it dates back to 206 BCE, during Spain's early conquest. Whether it was a boundary marker or something symbolic for soldiers stationed there, its bold presence shows how the Romans blended strength, belief, and iconography into even the most unexpected places. It's a striking reminder that ancient messages came in all shapes and definitely all sizes. Number 13, stone silkworm chrysalis. In the Shanxi province of China, a single carved artifact, unearthed in June 2022, opened a window to a cultural revolution that shaped a continent. The item, a stone chrysalis modeled after a silkworm cocoon, was found at a semi-subterranean dwelling believed to date back over 5,000 years. That puts it squarely within the Yangshao culture, the same people who first cultivated silkworms and sparked what would become the legendary Silk Road. While dating stone precisely is nearly impossible, its age was estimated through the surrounding pottery shards. The fact that it was crafted in stone, not just admired in life, speaks to the reverence ancient communities had for the silkworm. Over 1,600 other objects were recovered from the site, including jade, copper, and ceramic items. But this chrysalis stands apart, not for size or shine, but for what it represents: the dawn of textile production, trade, and a civilization that learned to transform threads into power. It's a quiet but powerful piece of early human ingenuity. Number 12. Hidden artifacts beneath Chapultepec Forest. For years, visitors strolled through the forests of Chapultepec in Mexico City, unaware they were walking over ancient history. But in September 2022, a ground survey revealed something staggering: the oldest known artifacts ever found in the basin of Mexico, buried just inches beneath the surface. Among them were broken utensils, tools, and ceramic pieces depicting figures that look almost otherworldly. Many had been damaged by centuries of foot traffic, but a few remained intact. Some even appeared to have been deliberately burned and shattered, possibly during a ceremonial rite. Archaeologists now believe a 3000-year-old settlement might have existed here, though no structures have yet been identified. Still, the volume and variety of artifacts suggest this wasn't just a random dumping ground. It was an active, possibly sacred space. With every layer pulled back, researchers get a little closer to rewriting what we thought we knew about early civilizations in this part of the world. All right, now, let's head over to Number 1. Ancient Axe Head. In July 2022, a team from the Monuments Board of Trnava made an impressive find during a dig in western Slovakia, an early Bronze Age axe head, incredibly well preserved despite being nearly 4,000 years old. The wooden handle had long since rotted away, but the metal blade was still intact, its fan-shaped edge and tapering point remarkably similar to tools we still use today. Measuring just over 4 inches in length, the blade features faint grooves along its sides, likely left behind by the bindings that once held it to a handle. For a tool this old, the craftsmanship is striking. Experts briefly considered whether it may have been designed as a hand tool without a shaft, but the presence of those grooves told a different story. The alloy hasn't yet been identified, but it's clear the maker had both technical skill and an understanding of practical design. It's a rare example of prehistoric efficiency, and a reminder that good design really does stand the test of time. Number 10. The Ancient Writing Set from Istanbul. In 2022, archaeologists working at the Bithonia site in Istanbul came across a small but astonishing find, an entire 1600-year-old Roman writing set. That's right, not just a pen, but the full kit. An inkwell, a dish, an amphora, and a delicate bone dip pen. This complete set is the oldest of its kind ever recovered. Even more intriguing, traces of both red and black ink were found on the pen, suggesting it once belonged to someone of high rank during the Eastern Roman Empire. Red ink, after all, was reserved for state officials. The find was made in Istanbul's Küçükçekmece district, an area that's become a gold mine for ancient relics in recent years. The fact that such a fragile object survived all this time underground is impressive in itself. It's being preserved with care and will eventually be displayed in a local museum. For now, it stands as a rare, tangible link to literacy and bureaucracy in a forgotten world. Number 9. Iron Age Vessel Hoard. In a quiet field in Monmouthshire, Wales, metal detectorist John Matthews made a discovery in 2019 that wouldn't be publicly announced until 2023. What he found was a stunning Iron Age vessel hoard, later declared official treasure. The first objects unearthed were an enamel-decorated mount and a copper saucepan, items that immediately signaled historical value. Archaeologists from PAS Cymru arrived shortly after and revealed far more beneath the soil. Among the items recovered were a large wooden bucket with copper alloy fittings, 2 tankards, a cauldron, a strainer, and 2 Roman saucepans. One of the standout pieces was a bowl with a handle shaped like a copper ox's head. These objects likely formed a ceremonial drinking set, perhaps buried intentionally during the Roman conquest of the region in the 1st century. Finds like this are incredibly rare. The craftsmanship, diversity, and completeness of the set offer an unexpected glimpse into ancient rituals and life during a turbulent chapter in Welsh history. Number 8. The Viking Sword. In a quiet backyard in western Norway, a woman named Heidi Viki Grunningsatter was clearing her garden in August 2022 when she noticed something rusty poking through the dirt. Initially, she thought it was a piece of old farm equipment. Her husband had a hunch it might be something better. So they posted a few photos online, and that's when it all clicked. What they had wasn't junk. It was a Viking sword, likely from the early Viking Age, dating somewhere between the 8th and 10th centuries. Archaeologist Bjørn Ringstad recognized it immediately and believes it was buried alongside its owner, which means a full Viking grave might still be under the house. While Heidi and her husband aren't exactly eager to dig up their property, this discovery alone has made history. Finds like this don't just show up in garden soil unless something bigger lies beneath. It's a thrilling glimpse into Norway's past buried in plain sight. Number 7. Viking gold ring mistaken as costume jewelry. In July 2022, what seemed like a piece of costume jewelry turned out to be an authentic Viking-era gold ring. Mary Engelin Haukstad of Norway had purchased a box of miscellaneous jewelry at an online auction, and one heavy ring immediately stood out. Its weight, polish, and craftsmanship hinted at something more significant. Upon closer inspection, experts confirmed it was solid gold, far more valuable than anything else in the box. In Viking culture, jewelry was a mark of rank, and gold was scarce, usually reserved for the elite. The size and style of the ring suggest it once belonged to someone of high status, possibly a chieftain. Most Viking jewelry was made of silver, making this ring all the more rare. Sadly, because it was separated from its original context, its origin and exact age remain a mystery. But even as a stray object, it serves as a striking emblem of the wealth and symbolism tied to Viking identity. What do you think about it? Number 6. Ritual reliefs in Tenochtitlan. Deep in the lush greenery of Tenochtitlan, Mexico, archaeologists unearthed a stunning pair of carved limestone reliefs in August 2022. These pieces are linked to the ancient Mech culture, and they depict figures in contortionist-like postures believed to induce trance states. Such positions weren't for show, they were ritualistic, meant to alter consciousness and connect to the divine. Each relief spans nearly 5 feet, showcasing faces adorned with diadems and embedded crosses. Though exact dates remain uncertain, the region was a major Mech hub roughly 2,900 years ago. Some experts suggest a stylistic overlap with early Maya art, but that's a hot debate in academic circles. What's certain is that discoveries like this are incredibly rare and offer a fascinating glimpse into the ceremonial life of an ancient civilization. With every carved line and sculpted detail, these relics whisper secrets from a time when ritual and royalty walked hand in hand in the Mesoamerican world. Alright guys, now let's talk about number 5. Precious blood of Christ. One of France's most revered religious relics, the precious blood of Christ, unexpectedly found its way back home just 2 months after it was stolen. The relic had been taken from Fécamp Abbey Church in Normandy in June 2022 under mysterious circumstances. Police made little progress in identifying the thief, but then, without warning, the artifact was left at the doorstep of Dutch art sleuth Arthur Brand. Believed by the faithful to hold the blood of Jesus Christ collected during the crucifixion, this relic is among the Catholic Church's most sacred. Its spontaneous return raised more questions than answers. Maybe the thieves didn't realize how famous it was. Or maybe the weight of what they'd taken became too heavy. Whatever the reason, this relic has defied the odds. Less than 10% of stolen religious artifacts are ever recovered. Now safely returned, it continues its quiet place in history, carrying both a spiritual legacy and the story of an almost lost miracle that found its way back. Number 4. Neolithic Serpentine Seal. In summer 2022, during ongoing excavations at Damasek Mound in Turkey's Kahramanmaraş province, researchers found a super striking artifact, a seal button carved from serpentine stone. Estimated to be from the late Neolithic period, the object features 2 horned animal heads facing each other. Though their identity remains uncertain, possibly water buffalo or cattle, the symbol appears on over 130 other artifacts found at the same site since 1995, indicating its deep cultural significance. The mound itself was part of a settlement that dates back nearly 9,000 years, rich in tools, pottery, and symbols tied to early domesticated life. The presence of a thread hole suggests it was worn or attached, possibly as a mark of status or protection. Whether this seal was a form of identification, a spiritual token, or a social marker, it's one of the few objects from that time that speaks so vividly through its design. The carving is subtle, but its meaning likely carried real weight in a world just beginning to organize itself. Number 3. Undelivered letters from the 1600s. Inside the Museum for Communication in The Hague, historians recently opened a sealed trunk. thought to have been untouched since 1926. Inside were over 2,600 undelivered letters dating from 1689 to 1707. Written in various dialects and everyday speech, the messages were sent from across Europe, France, Spain, and the Netherlands, but never reached their recipients. In many cases, the letters were refused or undeliverable, as recipients at the time had to pay for postage themselves. Among the messages were notes from actors, servants, merchants, and nobles. One letter hinted that a woman might be pregnant and requesting help, without ever directly stating it. Yale historian Rebecca Arendt, who studied the find, noted that these documents provide a raw, unfiltered view into everyday lives that don't usually appear in formal records. Whether romantic, urgent, or mundane, each message captures a voice from over 300 years ago. Together, they offer a personal and emotional map of Europe's forgotten correspondence. Number 2. Bronze Age Dagger. In May 2023, deep in a forest in southeastern Poland, a metal detectorist unearthed a rare Bronze Age dagger near Krasnystaw. Estimated to be around 3,500 years old, the dagger's condition is astonishing. Its edges still sharp, its form nearly untouched by time. Shaped in a lenticular style with a raised central ridge, the blade also has 6 rivet holes on its semicircular base, which once held a handle long lost to history. This dagger is the first of its kind ever recovered in the region, and one of only a few found throughout Poland. Its craftsmanship and preservation suggest it didn't originate locally. Archaeologists believe it was likely brought from the Danube region, having traveled across significant distances before ending up in Polish soil. The discovery was made in collaboration with the Wallachia Historical Association, lying just beneath the surface. Now under the care of the Lublin Provincial Conservator of Monuments, it may help researchers trace ancient movements and connections across Europe. Number 1. Mummies with gold tongues. In December 2021, archaeologists working in Oxyrhynchus, Egypt, opened a limestone tomb that had been sealed for 2,500 years. Inside were 3 mummies, but what set them apart was found in their mouths, delicate gold foil tongues. 2 of the bodies had deteriorated badly, reduced mostly to bone, but the 3rd mummy was astonishingly intact, complete with preserved skin, fingernails, and hair. The gold tongues were no random addition. In ancient Egyptian belief, the dead had to communicate in the afterlife to justify their lives, to earn peace. A golden tongue may have been a symbolic tool for eloquence in that spiritual realm. Still, this wasn't a common ritual. Before this tomb, only one other case of a gold tongue burial had ever been documented. The precision, the rarity, it all suggests this wasn't done for just anyone. Whether the person was high-ranking, revered, or simply loved beyond measure, we don't know. But someone wanted to make sure their voice carried on long after the world had gone quiet around them. If you've enjoyed watching this video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more awesome content like this. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you soon in the next one.